بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
ينال وحد الظالمين صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, respected brothers and sisters, these auspicious days and nights that we are in, this is the month of Dhul Hijjah and the month of Dhul Qa'dah, and after the month of Dhul Qa'dah comes the month of Dhul Hijjah. And these are considered the Ashhurul Hurum, the sanctified months, regarding which Allah Ta'ala has said, إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها 4 حرم فلا تظلموا فيهن أنفسكم. That from amongst the days and nights that Allah Ta'ala created, the 12 months of the year, 4 of those 12 months of the year are sanctified months. They are holy months. And what does that mean when Allah Ta'ala has sanctified them and Allah Ta'ala has made them holy? It means that أَن تُعَظِّمُوا مَا عَظَّمَهُ اللَّهُ, that you should honor that which Allah Ta'ala has honored, and you should sanctify that which Allah has sanctified. So these Ashhurul Hurum, when they come, the mushrikeen of the Arabs, they, even when these months would come, they would not fight in these months. They would not commit major sins in these months. They would not hurt one another in these months, because these months were very sacred to them for whatever reasons. The main reason was that these were the months of Hajj. And to them the Hajj was the time in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rabbul Bayt, right, the guests of Allah would come to Baytullah. The guests of Allah would come to Baytullah. This was the whole understanding of Ashhurul Hurum and the whole understanding of Dhul Hijjah and the Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. So these auspicious months that we are in, brothers and sisters, these are very blessed times. And if we look at it from a historical perspective, this is the time which was the most blessed time of the greatest sacrifice that ever took place. And if we were to summarize, this Dhul Hijjah and the time of Hajj, which many people, mashallah, from our community are going for Hajj. Many people are going for, this blessed journey, the journey of a lifetime. What is the meaning? What is the whole objective? What is the whole philosophy? People go for Hajj, people don't even know why they went for Hajj. They go, they come back, Haji Saib. He became Haji Saib. And the reality of it is that a lot of people don't even know what is the whole, why is this? What is the purpose of this? And just today we had a Hajj workshop. Somebody asked this question, that what does this mean, that we have to be at this specific place at a specific time? On the 8th, this is called Yawm al-Tarwiyah. The 9th is called, Yawm al-Arafah. The 10th is called Yawm al-Nahar. And, and every day you have to be at a specific place, and you have to be at a specific, time from, morning to evening you have to be here, and after the evening, immediately after sunset, you have to go somewhere else, and at Muzdalifah you have to be this long, and Arafat you have to be this long, and in Mina you have to be this long. What is the meaning of all of this? So brothers and sisters, all of this, it revolves around the sacrifice of Ibrahim. All of the Hajj and Dhul Hijjah and the barakah of these days, right? Just like, if you have a guest that's coming from a faraway place, the month before and the month after you're making preparations. The month before you're making preparations because a guest is coming from very far away. And the month after also, this is a time of happiness because your guests, had come and there's still, good memories. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the host and the entire world are His guests. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is the host. And in the entire world, they are the guests. And people are coming from all over the world, right? These are the guests of Allah ta'ala, and Allah ta'ala is hosting them. But these days, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, all of these days, these are the days in which Ibrahim alayhi salam, he made the greatest sacrifice for all of mankind. as an example to all of mankind. And Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran his story. وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ. And remember when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tested Ibrahim with certain things, and he fulfilled every single one of them. So this Dhul Hijjah, these days, and why I'm mentioning is because it's a couple of weeks away. And there is also the sunnat of Qurbani. There's all of these things that are related to these few days and nights that we are in. To prepare for that is very important. For every Muslim to know it is very important. You know, what is Eid al-Qurban? What is the Eid al-Adha? What is the Qurbani? Why do we do that? What is the Hajj? Why do people go for Hajj? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this binding upon us? So these are a few things that I wanted to discuss. And all of this goes back to Ibrahim alayhi salam. And we have to understand that the other name for Islam, what's the other name of Islam? The other name of Islam is Millati Ibrahim. One is Islam. The other name for Islam is Millat Ibrahim. Maulana Shaykh Ali Thanwi in Bayan al-Quran mentions that Millat Ibrahim is mutaradif of Islam. It's the other word for Islam. Because Islam is in essence, right, was laid down, the foundation of it was laid down by Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. هو سماكم المسلمين من قبل وفي هذا, right, ليكون الرسول, what is the ayat? ليكون الرسول شهيد عليكم وتكونوا شهداء على الناس. So you have been named Muslims. And who was it? What? Huwa sammakum. This huwa, it could go back to Allah or it could go back to Ibrahim. In one essence, it goes back to Ibrahim alayhi salam. He was the one, right? وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. What did he say? وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. What is the meaning of وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ? Ibrahim alayhi salam said this. قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. My life, my death, my sacrifice, my everything is for Allah, the Lord of the worlds. And that is what I have been commanded, and I am the first of the Muslims. This was uttered by Ibrahim alayhi salam. Huwa sammakumul muslimin. But what is the meaning of wa ana awwalul muslimin? Ana awwalul muslimin, I am the first of the Muslims. Meaning that if everybody leaves Islam, I will still be there standing. If there is no Muslim, I am awwalul muslimin. If nobody is standing there in line, I will be standing in line. If nobody is there representing, I will represent. If nobody stands up, I will stand up. If nobody will protect and defend, I will protect and defend. That is the meaning of وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I don't look at left and right. Right? This is not أَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. I'm going to look at my right and I'm going to look at my left. Who's with me? And if nobody's there, then I'm going to bounce. That's not awwalul muslimin. Wa ana awwalul muslimin means you don't look right or left. You look straight. You look at the commandment of Allah. What is Allah telling me? And you go forward with that. This is what Ibrahim alayhi salam did. In every situation, Ibrahim alayhi salam was awwalul muslimin. And when Allah Ta'ala tested him, Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions in his tafsir and in Al-Bidayah wa Nihaya, he writes in his history about Ibrahim alayhi salam, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ. In the tafsir of this ayat, what are the things that Allah Ta'ala tested him with? Number one, the fire of Namrud. That was the first test of Ibrahim alayhi salam. That he saw his people, and he saw his society, and he saw his community. And what were they doing? They were worshipping idols. They were worshipping statues. And what did he say? He said, "Oh my people, لِمَ تَعْبُدُ مَا لَا تَسْمَعُ وَلَا تُبْصِرُ." Why are you worship that which doesn't hear, it doesn't see, it doesn't listen, it doesn't do anything, it can't help you? لَا تَضُرُّ وَلَا تَنْفَعُ. It does not harm, it does not benefit. Why do you worship such things? You make it with your own hands and then you prostrate for these statues? What are these idols that you're standing in front of? He went against his whole community. He didn't say, "Oh well, you know what, my people are worshipping idols, I have to do it too." مردم میکنن دیگه ما هم دیگه باید که تزمی آب بکنن دیگه. چاره نداریم. We have no other way. The people are doing it, I have to do it as well. Ibrahim alayhi salam did not say that. He saw the haqq. He saw the haqq. He was a follower of haqq. He didn't say that, oh, the people are doing this and that. And this is a person who is deluded. This is a person who is maghrur. He is deceived that he does whatever the people are doing. Despite the fact that they're still doing something wrong, he does whatever they're doing. Harchi mardum mekunad bozina ham. Harchi mardum mekunad bozina ham. Bozina mardum ami bhi namu karara mekana. Like a monkey, right? They say monkey see, monkey do. Well, you're an insan and Allah made you a human being. You don't just imitate whatever wrong that you might see people doing. Allah gave you aql and Allah gave you hidayat and Allah gave you guidance. Think about it. Is this the right thing to do or is this the wrong thing to do? Is this correct or is this wrong? Is there darkness in this or is there light in this? This is not an action which is righteous. This is not an action which is moral. This is immoral. This is wrong. It doesn't matter if all the people are doing it. I won't do it and I don't care about anybody. This was Ibrahim alayhi salam. Wa ana awwalul muslimin. And what did they say? They said, you know, who is this Ibrahim that's doing this? Right? Get him and avenge your idols. Ibrahim alayhi salam broke all of their idols. He said, I want to make them understand that what they're doing is wrong. So he broke all of the idols. We know the story. And then what did he do? He put the axe around the neck of the big idol. So when they came back from their festival, and they came and they saw in their butkhana, their idol home, their idol house, they saw that all of the idols were broken. They said, who did this to our idols? Ibrahim alayhi salam said, but they asked the big one. He broke all the idols and then he put the axe, he left one, he put the axe around the big idol. Then he said, everybody's like, who did this to our idols? He said, ask the big one. Ask him if he speaks. He said, they're your gods, right? They're your gods. So if he's God, then he should speak. So then look at what they say. فَنُكِسُوا عَلَى رُؤُوسِهِمْ. They suddenly came to their senses for 1 minute. And they said, oh, Ibrahim, you know that our gods can't talk? He said, why do you then worship that which cannot talk? Why do you worship that which cannot do anything? Then for one moment they thought, they knew that how foolish they were. Then they said, no. Ghairat overtook them, right? The ghairat. Jahalat, ignorance overtook them. They said, no. Right? وَانْصُرُوا آلِهَتَكُمْ. Come to the aid of your idols. And take Ibrahim and throw him in the fire. And they made such a huge fire, right, that they actually had to make a catapult to throw him inside. And when they were throwing Ibrahim alayhi salam in that fire, what was the words that he was uttering? He said, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. They said that when he was being thrown inside of the fire, they stripped him of his clothes. They made him naked. And they tied his hands to throw him in the fire. And Jibreel alayhi salam at that moment came to him. And this is written by Ibn Kathir in his tafsir. This riwayah is mentioned. He says, Jibreel alayhi salam came to him. He says, Ya Ibrahim, laka haja? O Ibrahim, look at the sacrifice you are making for Allah. Do you have any haja? Do you have any need? So then he said, Amma ilayka fala. Amma ilallahi fahuwa hasbi wa ni'mal wakil. He says, as for you, I have no need of you. As for my Allah, He is sufficient for me. And He is the best of caretakers. Imagine, he did not even accept Jibreel. Jibreel doesn't come with his own order. Jibreel alayhi salam doesn't come with his own accord. He says, as for you, there's no need. As for Allah, I have put my trust in Him. And they say when he was thrown inside of this fire, Abraham, what was Abraham thrown in the fire for? This is in the Bible as well, but I don't know why people don't follow the Bible. People don't, the tawheed, the oneness of Allah, that there is no one worthy of worship but Allah. That is why Islam, our religion, is called Millat Ibrahim, the way of Abraham, the tradition of Abraham. He was thrown, and they say, the ropes got burned, but the hair on his head did not get burned. And Allah Ta'ala said to the fire, Ya naru kuni bardan wa salaman ala Ibrahim. O fire, be cool and peaceful for Ibrahim. That was test number 1. And just by Ibrahim alayhi salam coming out, they say that the daughter of Namrud accepted Islam. Imagine, Namrud is worried about, everybody else, his own daughter accepts Islam. And he was tested again with the debate with Namrud. Namrud said, but still, I don't believe. Who is your God, O Abraham? Tell me, who is your Lord? This is number 2. Imagine, he was tested by his community. His community threw him in the fire. His community burned him, but he did not burn because he was awwalul muslimin. Second, he was tested by the authority and by the rulership of his land. And when he was standing before the king, and we know how kings were in that time, they just off with your head, that's it. They don't argue, they don't debate, they just cut your head off. So when he stood in front of Abraham, he said, "Oh Abraham, you talk about a God that gives life and death. I also give life and death." So he called 2 prisoners. He told one, "Okay, you can go." And the other one, he said, "Okay, kill him. See, I gave life and I gave death." So then Ibrahim alayhi salam told him, he says, "My Lord, he brings the sun from the east, you make it set in the west. That is my Lord." فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. And Namrud, he became ignorant. And he didn't have any word to say, he became silent. And Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was also kicked out of his land. And his father told him, right, لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ وَهْجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا. I will most definitely stone you to death. Oh Ibrahim, his own father is telling him. Imagine. Who was it that Ibrahim was not tested? He was tested by his community. He was tested by his governance and the authority. He was tested by his own family. He was tested by his own father. لَأَرْجُمَنَّكَ. What does that mean? He said, I'm going to stone you to death. Those people meant it. This is not metaphorical. Those people meant it. I'm going to stone you to death if you don't leave. وَهْجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا. Leave me. I never want to see you. And what did he say? قَالَ سَوْفَ أَسْتَغْفِرُ لَكَ رَبِّي إِنَّهُ كَانَ بِي حَفِيًّا. He says, "Oh my father, I will ask Allah to forgive you." Allahu Akbar. Despite, look at, and this is what Ibrahim, إِنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ لَأَوَّاهٌ حَلِيمٌ. Indeed, Ibrahim alayhi salam was very naramdil, very halim, very soft and merciful. And look how, and we are millat Ibrahim. Look at how his people treated him. But look at how Ibrahim, what was his reaction? Did he try to kill his people or retaliate against his people? No. He said, "I will make istighfar for you, O my father. Ya abati, ya abati, O my beloved father. Why do you worship these things that don't understand? Oh my father, la ta'bud ash-shaytan. Don't worship shaitan. Oh my father, don't do this, what you're doing. Oh my father, I will ask Allah Ta'ala to forgive you. I am very close to my Lord. I will ask Him to forgive you." And what did his father say? He said, "Get away from me, I'm going to stone you to death." He left. And this was another thing that he was tested with. When he made the hijrah, he passed by a land, the king of which, if he would see anyone with their wife, the king was a very zalim king. If he would see somebody with his wife, he would intentionally take advantage of that person's wife. If he would see a man traveling with his wife, then he would ask the man, "Who is this woman?" So he would say, "This is my wife." He said, "Okay." And he would take that woman and he would commit an evil action with her to disgrace. That was the way, that's how evil this king was. He used to take advantage. If he knew that you're traveling with your wife, he said, "Who is this with you that's going?" If you say, "This is my sister or my daughter," he wouldn't do anything. If you said, "This is my wife," then he would intentionally commit an evil act with her so he can disgrace you. That was his policy. That was how he used to get enjoyment out of that. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam was traveling, he asked, "Who is this?" He said, "This is my sister." He did not say that this is my wife. He said, "This is my sister." And then his wife, Sarah, her name was Sarah. He said, "Oh Ibrahim, how could you have told a lie?" He said, "I didn't lie. Because there's only 2 Muslims in this entire world, me and you. So you're my sister in Islam." There's only 2 Muslims in the world. Me and you. So we're brother and sister in Islam, in religion. So he wasn't lying. This is called tawriyah. Despite the fact Sarah was very beautiful, he could not control himself. So in the night, he went into the tent. He went into the room where Sarah was staying. He separated them and he went into the room where she was staying. And he put his hand to touch her with an evil intent. And Allah Ta'ala caused his hand to become paralyzed. She cried to Allah, said, "Oh Allah, save me from this zalim." And the hand of this king, it became paralyzed. Again, he said, "Please, this has happened to me. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Tell your Lord to take this off of me." And he came back to normal. When he came back to normal, the next time he did it again. Again, he became paralyzed 3 times. Until he said, "Okay, bus, don't, I'm not going to mess with you anymore." And then he let Ibrahim alayhi salam go, and he gave Ibrahim a gift. And it was a servant, Hajar. This was Hajar. He gave Ibrahim alayhi salam this gift, and it was a servant, and it was Hajar that was going to be, then it became the wife of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Khair, these are the struggles at every stage that Ibrahim alayhi salam went through. At every single stage. These are the hardships and the difficulties that he went through. And then after 86 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he didn't have a son. Allah ta'ala gave him Ismail. And when he gave him that son, he said, "I want you to take your son and take Hajar, your second wife. Take them to the middle of the desert of Makkah. في واد غير ذي زرع, in this valley, which is completely a desolate, empty plain, and leave them. Leave them there. This is my command. Take your wife and take your son Ismail and leave them in the middle of this valley." And Ibrahim alayhi salam said nothing. And he took them from Sham, from Syria, and he brought them, escorted them to the valley of Makkah. And he left them there. And Hajar, look at the iman of this woman. What did she say? She said, "Oh my husband, why are you doing this?" No reply. "Can you please explain, why are you taking us? Where are you taking us? And why are you leaving us here?" Nothing. So then look at what she says. That, "Did your Lord command you to do this? Did Allah command you to do this?" And then Ibrahim just shook his head like this, not saying a word. So then she says, إِذَا لَا يُضَيِّعُنَا. He said, "Then Allah will not waste us here. If Allah commanded you, then I submit, and Allah will not waste us." And in the middle of that valley, where it does not have a single shade-giving tree, and it does not have a single well or source of water, in that, she went from Safa to Marwa, and from Marwa to Safa, that Hajis do till this day. Till this day. Why does Allah make us do Safa and Marwa and Hajj? Allah loved that action so much that He wants us to reenact that till the Day of Judgment. And with her struggle and her sacrifice, Allah Ta'ala gave the well of Zamzam. It's such a water that it's been flowing from that time, over 3,000 years ago, till this day it is flowing. And it is giving people water, and that water is being taken to every portion of the world. This water is a shifa for those who are sick. And this water is food for those who eat it with the intention of food. And it is a quenching for those who drink it with their thirst. This is the maqam of this water. There was an incident in one of the tabi'i. He went to Rome. And he came from Makkah Mukarramah, one of the tabi'in. And in Rome, at that time, Turkey was, the area around Turkey was part of Rome. When he went there, he saw a Christian monk. So the Christian monk asked them, "Where did you come from?" He said, "We came from the valley of Abraham." So listen to the Christian monk. He said, "Do you have the holy water from the land of Abraham?" He said, "How do you know about that?" He said, "We know about it." said, do you have some? He said, yes, I do. He said, because a bucket of that holy water would be more beloved to me than a bucket filled with gold. And they gave him some. And he drank it. From this we understand that this was something that was known from the previous nations as well. But many things are kept hidden. Many things are altered. Many things are hidden. Many things are kept away. So this water was from the sacrifice of Hajar. And Allah Ta'ala is still blessing the ummah with this blessed water. مَاءُ زَمْزَمَ لِمَا شُرِبَ لَهُ. The water of Zamzam is for whatever intention you drink it for. If you drink it for that Allah should forgive you, Allah will forgive you. If you drink it for any worldly necessity, Allah will fulfill your worldly necessities. If you drink it for any ukhrawi necessities, for hereafter, Allah Ta'ala will fulfill any need. And after some time, when the people started to come and the tribes started to come and populate that area of Makkah Mukarramah, right? Allah Ta'ala told Ibrahim alayhi salam to go back. And Ismail had reached an age when his father was very happy. And Ismail was running with his father and helping his father. And Ibrahim had gotten a very close attachment to his son. You can imagine, after 80 some years, Allah blessed him with a son. And I mentioned this, that if a person after the first year of marriage, if they don't have kids, people start doubting them. That what's wrong? There's something wrong with the man, or there's something wrong with the woman. People start gossiping. People start saying things. That wife, she cannot have any kids. Or the husband cannot have any kids. There's something wrong. Imagine 86 years Ibrahim alayhi salam went through this. What type of struggles he went through. Just imagine that. Just think about that. But after 80 some years, Allah blessed him with a child. And then that child became so close and attached to the heart of Ibrahim that Allah Ta'ala wanted to test him again. Look at all the tests, all the obstacles, one after another, but each time Ibrahim alayhi salam is passing that test. This time, what did Allah Ta'ala say? He said, oh my son, oh Ibrahim, I want you to sacrifice your son. I want you to make qurbani of your son. And this is something very important to understand, because the whole Hajj, it correlates, and this month of Hajj and the pilgrimage, it correlates with the sacrifice of Ibrahim. The 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th. Every single day, we have to be at that place where Ibrahim was, at the time that Ibrahim was, the way that Ibrahim was. We're actually reenacting the footsteps of Ibrahim. That is what this is. The whole Hajj is the reenactment and following the exact footsteps of Ibrahim. This was the greatest manifestation of submission and sacrifice that was known in the history of mankind. This is what Hajj was. This is what the sacrifice of Ibrahim, and this is what the Hajj is. It's the reenactment of the greatest sacrifice that was known in the history of mankind by any human being. That he was told to sacrifice his own son, and he was ready to do that for the sake of Allah. This was the ultimate. And what did he do? Yawm al-Tarwiyah. That's the 8th. The first day of Hajj is called Yawm al-Tarwiyah. And what is the meaning of Tarwiyah? Rawwa yurawwi tarwiyah min tafakkara wa ta'ammala. He pondered. Because this wahi that came to him, the dream that came to him, the wahi came in the form of a dream. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was thinking about it. What is this? What does Allah want? Does Allah want exactly this, or does Allah want me to sacrifice something else? Is it literal? So he asked his son. This was Yawm al-Tarwiyah. وَمَعْنَى التَّرْوِيَةِ أي تفكر وتأمل. وفي معنى آخر السقاء. لأن الناس كان يسقون الجمل ويرويهم قبل الحج. This is the meaning. But this tarwiyah comes from the time of Ibrahim, not from the time of Hajj. Hajj came later. Yawm al-Tarwiyah comes from the time of Ibrahim. روى في أمره يعني تفكر وتأمل في أمره. He thought about his matter. And then he asked his son, Ya bunayya inni ara fil manami anni azbahuk. Oh my son, I see in my dream that I'm slaughtering you. What do you think about that? قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر. Oh my son, oh my father, do as you've been commanded. ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين. Indeed, you will find me from the patient ones. From that, Ibrahim alayhi salam understood, and Ismail alayhi salam understood. Brothers and sisters, any ummah, an ummah is made up of 3 levels. It's made up of man, woman, and child. And an ummah cannot be complete until every single one is sacrificing for the sake of Allah. Men, women, and children. A lot of times we see, mashallah, men are very pious, the women don't even care. Or we see the women are praying, the men don't care. Or we say men and women, they're on deen, and the children don't know anything. That is not an ummah, that is not a complete nation. An ummah is made up of sacrifice of man, woman, and child. And if you look at the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the man is Ibrahim. He sacrificed his life. He sacrificed everything for Allah. And we see the woman Hajar. She sacrificed. And we benefit till this day. And we actually imitate. Every single year in Hajj, we walk between Safa and Marwa. We imitate the sacrifice of Hajar and Ismail. When we're doing the Qurbani, and we're doing the sacrifice on the 10th of Zil-Hijjah, what is that? That is reenacting the sacrifice of that boy. Man, woman, and child. No ummah is complete without the sacrifice of 3. And if you see in any nation, when the men are very, very pious, but the women and children, they don't care about deen, that is not an ummah. And that ummah will not be successful. The men are knowledgeable, and the women and children are jahil. They're ignorant, they don't know anything. That is not an ummah. And that ummah will not be successful. When the women are educated, but the men are uneducated. The women are educated, but the men are uneducated. The men are the ones who are the leaders. They take their women they take them into the pitfalls. The women are educated and they're religious, but and I have seen many times, women are wearing hijab and their husband doesn't want it. Their husband says, take off the hijab, I don't like this, take off this thing, what is this? And if you're not going to take it off, then I divorce you. بارها دیده میره زن بیچاره نیک است شوهرش در قصه چیزی نیست میگم تو که هستی طلاق دادیم برو رای خدا بگی. The woman is pious, but the man doesn't care. And if the man is very pious and the woman doesn't care, then what happens? Right? Then she's going to bring children that are ignorant. Because it's the mother who gives tarbiyah to the kids. The first madrasa of the child is the lap of the mother. The first place where the child gets tarbiyat and he gets guidance and he gets manners is the lap of the mother. If the mother is ignorant, and if the mother doesn't care about deen, and if the mother is shameless, and if the mother doesn't have haya, then that's the impression of the world that the child is going to get. Or if the parents are very, very pious, but they don't care about their kids, then what happens? Then the future of that generation is dark and dim. That generation is not going to go far. Those people that care about their own religiosity, but they don't focus on their kids. Then what happens? The whole future of that legacy comes to an end. So from the story of Ibrahim, brothers and sisters, we are the millat Ibrahim. And these days of Zulqa'dah, the months of Zulqa'dah, the days of Zul-Hijjah, the 10 days of Zul-Hijjah, Afdalul Ayyam, Ayyamul Ashr. The most glorious of days in the sight of Allah are the 10 days of Zul-Hijjah. They are coming up. Today's like the 17th or 18th of Zulqa'dah, 1437. It's around the 17th. We have about 10 days to go till the month of Dhul-Hijjah comes and the Hajis start to leave. So from this time we should start pondering and preparing for these blessed months, for this blessed month and for these blessed days. The 10 days of Dhul-Hijjah Allah Ta'ala has praised it in the Quran. He says, وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ. They say, وَالْفَجْر, it's also connected with these 10 days. I think it means the Fajr of Eid or the Fajr of Yawm al-Nahr, something like that. وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ, the 10 nights of Zul Hijjah. وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ. Shafa' means the 9th of Zul Hijjah. Watr, no, Shafa' means the 10th of Zul Hijjah. Watr is the 9th of Zul Hijjah. Allah has taken a qasam by these days. وَالْفَجْرِ وَلَيَالٍ عَشْرٍ وَالشَّفْعِ وَالْوَتْرِ. Allah has taken a qasam that these are very, very blessed times and they're coming. And the reason why these are blessed is because it is that historical time. Those 10 days were the days that actually the sacrifice of Ibrahim took place. This 10 days that's coming, these 10 days are actually those days in which the sacrifice of Ibrahim took place. Allah loved these days so much that those became the most glorious days in the sight of Allah. In one riwayat it mentions that the fasting of one day of the Ayyamul Hajj it's like fasting 1 year. And the fasting of Yawmul Arafah, right, it's like 1,000 days. So these are very, very, very honorable times, very glorious times. And all of this, it revolves around two things. The whole life of Ibrahim alayhi salam, it can be summarized in 2 words: sacrifice and submission. The whole life of Ibrahim alayhi salam revolves around this: sacrifice and submission. And that is the whole essence of Islam. If somebody were to ask you, what is Islam? It is sacrifice and submission. That's all it is. Islam means taslim. Islam means submission. And when you submit yourself to your Lord, then Allah grants you complete salam. Islam, taslim, salam. When you submit your will to the will of Allah, then Allah Ta'ala will grant you peace. That is when a person will receive peace from Allah Ta'ala. So these days and nights are these blessed time. And why this is important for a Muslim to understand that you are Millat Ibrahim? It's important for you to understand this because we are also going through sacrifices all the time. We're also going through hardships and difficulties all the time. Just recently, right, we hear that Germany is banning the niqab. And France is banning the, clothes that cover women. The ridiculous name for it, the burkini. The ridiculous name. It has nothing to do with the burqa. It just covers a woman so she doesn't have to become naked when she goes inside the water. And what are they doing? To fight terrorism, right? They're withholding the rights of women. These are ajib this is an ajib mentality. That in order to fight terrorism, what are we doing? We are suppressing the choice of women. And I'll be very honest, when it comes to the matter of hijab, brothers and sisters, hijab or niqab or burqa or chadari or whatever you want to call it, it's not the choice of men. It's not the choice of government. It's the choice of the woman. Just like a woman has the choice to walk around naked, she has the choice to wear niqab or hijab or anything else she wants to wear. Who are you to stop them from those rights? A woman in France, she can walk naked, have tattoos all over her body. That's completely okay. But the reality of it is, if she wants to wear a hijab or a niqab, she cannot do that. That is against the law. You know what that is? That is cowardice. And these people, they call themselves democratic nations, right? They're not democratic at all. They have become the laughing stock of all democracies. They have become the laughing stock of all democracies. And I know we're not such a wonderful democracy ourselves. We got our own problems, right? But when President Obama went to meet Sarkozy, he asked him about the matter of the burqa. And you know what he said? And this was something, these things don't reach us. Muslims don't hear about this. They don't want you to hear about these things. So the president asks, the president of the United States asks President of France, he says, isn't that something which is very contradictory? That you call yourself a democratic nation, but you are actually suppressing the rights of people who are doing something by their own choice. Isn't that something? He had no answer. Zip, chup. He had no answer. He couldn't say it. He said, this is, in the United States, we understand. We have a problem of terrorism. But this is not the way that you handle a matter of terrorism. زور آزمایی خدا که زورشان به مردان نمیرسه سر زنا را میگن حجابتان بکش زورشان به مرد نمیرسه زنا را میگن که خدا لطف کنین. This is how بغیرت and cowardice type of people, this is the way they are, cowards, right? We can't handle the problem with the men, so we're going to make the women take off their hijab. That's بغیرت. What is بغیرت number one? And the funny thing is, I'm not saying it. Other democracies of the world are saying it. They're making themselves a laughing stock. Same thing in Germany. And same thing in France. But the beauty of it is that the more these people don't understand, the more they are suppressing the people in their rights, the more the Muslims are becoming stronger. That one poem of Maulana Rumi rahmatullah alayhi, گر مرا 100 بار گردن زنی میگه که گر مرا 100 بار تو گردن زنی همچو شمعم برفروزم روشنی گر مرا 100 بار تو گردن زنی. If you cut my head off 100 times, then I'm just like that candle. You see the candle with the wick? When you cut that head of the candle, then the fire becomes even stronger. Maulana Rumi rahmatullah says, he says, gar hazar bar tu gardan zani, hamchu sham'am barfarozam roshani. If you cut off my head 100 times, that's not a problem, because I'm exactly like the candle. My fire will become even more stronger. This Millat Ibrahim, we're not Millat Einstein and Millat Isaac Newton. You don't just cut us off. The more you cut us, the more we grow. This is the millat of Ibrahim. When you throw us in the fire will extinguish itself. Throw us in the fire. When you throw us in the fire will become salaman ala Ibrahim. Those who are awwal al-Muslimin, Allah will give them exactly what He gave Ibrahim. And that is why, brothers and sisters, you have to keep reminding yourself, our Islam is not a crime. Those people that are committing acts of violence, those people that are hurting innocent people, women and children, doing these things, that has nothing to do with Islam. Your Islam is not a crime. Your hijab is not a crime. So, with complete yaqeen and certitude and iman with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't have any doubt. Keep on practicing your deen with courage and with certainty that Allah ta'ala will help you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of those people that are, trying to plot and plan, they will be the failures. And right now, this is exactly what's going on with them. Right? They are getting censure from their own. They're getting disliked by their own. So at all times, a Muslim has to look at things from the lens and the perspective of the deen. Because we are, right, this ummah, right? This is our struggle in this life. All these difficulties and hardships we see everywhere you look on the news, it's Muslims. Somebody was telling me the other day, every time you look at the news, it's something with Muslims, right? This is because, right, the test of the Muslims is in this life. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, look at it from the good perspective, right? Everybody knows about hijab now. There's nobody that doesn't know about hijab. Everybody knows about Islam now. Everybody knows about Muhammad now. And if a person has the slightest bit of aql, you know what he'll do? He'll go and research it. What is this? And I'll give you an example. There are certain people talking about, there was app, is it iPhone or Samsung? iPhone or Samsung? So I was getting, what is this iPhone? What is it? What's the big deal? It's a phone. There's no difference. I was hearing it so much. So I just went and I said, okay, I'm going to Google this. iPhone versus Samsung. And then I saw, oh, okay, this is what the debate is about. This is the truth. This is the information. So I started seeking more. Similarly, when if a person has any aql, he's going to hear Islam, hijab, and this, and terrorism, and ISIS, and, people are hearing all these things. What's the first thing a person with aql is going to do? A sane-minded individual, not a sheeple. I'm not talking about sheeple. I'm talking about people. Sheeple, amo to push the rafta mera, chike barish bugi. He's just gonna go whatever amo taraf ke chopan bordish amo to mera. Whatever the shepherd takes him, he's gonna go. I'm not talking about sheeple. I'm talking about people. What do people do? People, they look and they investigate. Okay, let me see, what is this Islam about? What is this hijab? What is Islam? Think about it. They're saying that women are becoming oppressed. How many women are really sitting here and they're forced by their husbands? I know imams, their daughters don't wear hijab. Azbarai Khuda, where is the force here? I know imams, if there's anybody, the mullah, the daughter of the mullah, he's gonna force her to wear hijab. He just told me, what can I do, Shaykh? Make dua. My daughter doesn't wear hijab. Nobody can force anybody. Mullah awlad khuda na maitana ke force kuna. What time are you living in? This is not, 5 centuries ago. Nobody is forcing anybody. Everybody that does it is doing it by choice. More than people forcing women to wear hijab, women are fighting for their right to wear hijab in this country. هزارها دخترها را ما میشناسم میگن که پدرم خوش نداره حجابه. صدها دختر از مردم افغان از کلگی, girls and families, that they're wearing hijab against the will of their parents. People are forcing hijab? They're not forcing hijab. This is their sacrifice. This is their choice. I know hundreds of females and sisters. And all the time when those sisters, they ask me, Shaykh, what should I do? I said, respect your parents. Do what you have to do. Respect your parents. Don't talk back to your parents. Don't wear hijab in the house. You don't wear hijab in front of your father. You don't need to wear hijab in front of your brother. You don't need to wear hijab inside your house. Don't wear it. If they don't like to see it, don't wear it in front of them. When you go to college, when you go outside, wear it outside. When you go to college, wear it in your college. I know many sisters, what did they do? They keep their hijab inside their car. And then when they go to work and they go to school and they go to these places, then they wear the hijab. Is women being forced to wear it? Or they're fighting for their right to wear it? It's actually opposite if people really knew. They don't know what's going on in the Muslim community. People are getting radicalized. People are not getting radicalized. Nobody can radicalize anybody. If you have an aql and you have a brain. A lot of people have come in front of me. They start talking politics. I said, brother, leave that, right? We're not living in Afghanistan. We're living in the United States, okay? You want to talk politics? Go in Afghanistan and run for president. Simple as that. Don't talk about these things here. Talk about what's practical and relevant here. You are here. And your stomach is full. And you're talking about what's going on over there. Go and be hungry with the people that are hungry. Go and be hungry and go and live in the refugee camps. If you really want to be a man, don't sit here and be an armchair critic. Don't be an armchair critic. Go out there and be a man, but don't talk about it. Be a real person. So this is what I'm talking about. And many people, you have a brain. Use your brain. Nobody can radicalize somebody else. Use your brain. Somebody comes and talks to you about that. Say, what affects me right now at this moment in time? Another person came and they're asking me, I want to go and do this, that, and the other. I said, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. I said, the biggest struggle that you can do is, there are young men and women, they're in clubs right now. They're Afghan and Muslim and Arab and our own Muslim sisters that are in strip clubs right now. Why don't you go and you do that jihad? Why don't you go and struggle and help those people come out? There are right now Muslims that are coming out of the fold of Islam saying, I don't believe in the Quran. I don't believe in Allah. I don't believe in Muhammad. Why don't you do that struggle first before you do some other struggle? This is in your own community. This is in your own community, and you're talking about all these other places. Right there under your nose. And it is a great injustice that you forget what's right under your nose and affecting your own community, and you start thinking about everyone. Let the people that are living there deal with it. You deal with what's right under your own nose. Learn about your own deen. I asked another person who started talking to me, I said, do you know how to read the Quran? He's like, no. I said, that's your first struggle that you need to do. Go do that first. Don't talk to me about anything else. Go and learn how to read the Quran. I said, do you know how to make istinja? He said, yeah, I do it every year. There was a person in the middle, he was arguing. Shaykh ازش پرسان کرد استنجا را میفهمی که چیست؟ صاحب هر سال میکنم استنجا. هر سال استنجا میکنم. مادر پدر خدا میبرم به استنجا. Oh, a'udhu billah, what are you saying? He says, I collect my money and I go for istinja. He said, that's umrah, not istinja. Bala bazaneti, she's giving to me, I'm going for istinja. You don't even know the difference between istinja and umrah. And you want to go and do this, that, and the other. I want to go and free the people of the world. He can't even tell the difference between umrah and istinja. You know what is istinja? Cleaning yourself after you go to the bathroom. I do it every year. Brothers and sisters, this is a great tragedy. We should first come to know our own deen. Learn to read Quran. Learn what is fard upon you. And then after that, consult a scholar. Don't consult people on the internet and on Google and on chat rooms. Sit with a human being that will tell you and speak sense to you. Someone who will speak sense to you. Don't go and speak to people in chat room. You don't even know who's sitting behind there. It could be an FBI agent. Who's sitting behind that chat room that you're talking to? On the other side. Who's there? You just think you're talking to a girl. Oh man, I'm giving dawah to this girl. You don't know that girl could be some like big fat CIA agent. He's sitting on his computer, eating chips and, with the Red Bull, he's just like, You don't know who's on the other side. Don't be such a you know what I call them? I call them internet heroes. Internet hero. He's a hero of the internet. In real life, he's zero. In internet, he's a hero. In the real life, he's zero. Become a real hero. Do something. Wallah, brothers and sisters, if you perform your Salatul Fajr in Jamaat in the masjid and Salatul Isha in Jamaat in the masjid, I will start to consider you to be a hero. That's a hero. That was your first step to becoming a hero. But Salatul Fajr, you're sleeping. And Salatul Isha, you're also, getting ready for the long night chat. Half the time you're giving dawah, half the time the person is on porn. Half minute he's giving, mashallah, dawah. Next minute, another half hour, he's on porn. What type of dawah is this? What type of shamelessness is this? This is just entertainment. Our deen has come and become summarized to entertainment, that's it. It excites us, right? Arguing excites us. Trolling people excites us. When we troll somebody on Facebook, we make up fake names and fake accounts, and then we troll people and we follow people and we try to give da'wat. And what is all of this? It's a waste of time. Become people of knowledge. SubhanAllah, we have youngsters that are sitting in front of us. 7 years, 8 years, 9 years of their jawani, of their youth, they spent in the path of Allah, learning the deen, sitting on their knees in front of scholars and learning this deen. In the jungles, in the desert, in wherever it may be, in the heat, in the darkness, in the light, in whatever situation, they went to go learn their deen. Sit with them, learn from them. And this is that millat of Ibrahim that we're talking about. So brothers, this struggle is going to be continuous for us. No matter what, you have to keep yourself, in that sacrifice and in that struggle. Know that it's not going to come to an end. And know that whatever tribulations and hardships this ummah sees, this is a sign of Allah Ta'ala's acceptance. Because إِذَا أَحَبَّ اللَّهُ قَوْمًا ابْتَلَاهُمْ, that when Allah Ta'ala loves a people, He tests them. And who are the people that you see constantly on the news? You see them constantly on the, on the radio. You're hearing about this. And people are worried about Donald Trump. Whether it's Donald Trump, or whether it's Fir'aun, or whether it's Namrud, or whether it's Abu Jahl, or whether it's Abu Lahab, all the people that were like that, who tried to oppress other people, their example is all the same. And their end was the same. Donald Trump is not God. I was at the car wash. I wanted to tell you this. I was at the car wash, and there was a elderly white American man with a cane. He started walking towards me. I'm like, Khuda khaira pesh biyara. Biao pura ko khair. Guftum, here we go. Every day you see something, right? Sometimes, when gangsters in Crenshaw, they be rapping about waking up in the morning. I don't know what I'm going to see today. I might get shot. I feel like the same. Like I'm going out of my house. God knows if I'm going to come back or not. So I see this, guy. He's just approaching me, and I'm like, Khuda khaira pesh biyara, right? So he comes up to me, and he just says, "Are you Muslim?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir, I'm Muslim." He said, "That's very good. Keep on being Muslim. Because this Donald Trump guy, don't be afraid." He said, "My neighbor, his name is Muhammad. He's afraid." I swear, this is exactly what he said. He said, "My neighbor, his name is Muhammad. He's afraid." I told him, "Muhammad, don't be afraid." He said, "Because I got your back." He was saying this. Why? He was a very nice man. And you know what? Donald Trump, he was A, and he said the fill in the blank. He's a A, and he just fill in the blank. And he said the reality of it is that, how could you do that? Not here. You're not going to do that here. You might do that in some of those other states. You're not going to do that here in California. That's unacceptable. And then he goes like this. He said, when my friend Muhammad, he got scared, I said, "Muhammad, what's your name, Muhammad?" He's like, "Muhammad." He said, "Exactly. Nothing is going to happen to you." This is non-Muslims saying these things. Your name is Muhammad. Nothing's going to happen to you. Why are you worried about it? And he kept talking, and I love your culture, and can you cook food for me? And I have all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, sure. Please, So the reality of it is that this is the situation. People see and people know the truth. And Allah Ta'ala sees and Allah knows. And Allah is watching. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will not waste His ummah as long as we keep on doing what we're doing. They will do what they do. Right? But you have to do what you have been commanded to do, and don't give up. Because Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, when He tested Bani Israel through Fir'aun, what did Musa alayhi salam say to his people? He said that, "Oh my people, isbiru, have patience. Ittaqullah wasbiru. Inna Allah yurithul arda man yasha." Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will give this land to whoever He wants. وَالْعَاقِبَةُ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. He says, have patience and have taqwa and don't give in. And Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will give this earth to whoever He wants. Who knows, there might be a real Muslim president one day. They're going crazy over Barack Obama, because his name is Barack. Who knows, one day a Muslim might be there. One day a Muslim might be there. Because this is what Musa alayhi salam said to Bani Israel. He said, "Oh my people, have patience and have taqwa. And you know what will happen? Allah Ta'ala will give this land to whoever He wants. And Allah will make you kings. And Allah will make you khulafa and the successors after Fir'aun." And that's exactly what happened. Bani Israel became the rulers after Fir'aun. Exactly what Musa alayhi salam said. Taqullaha wasbiru. Have fear of Allah Ta'ala and continue what you're doing and have patience. And no matter what happens, this is the reality. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala always sends down His assistance for His people. And Allah Ta'ala always destroys those people who are the zalims and the tyrants and the people who want to suppress. This is the system of Allah. Read the Quran. What does the Quran say? Learn from the history of the people of the past. This is exactly what they said. And when Fir'aun was coming into, he was coming into power, he said the same thing. He said, you people, you are the Qibts. And these are Bani Israel. Bani Israel should be your slaves. They are lowly people. They're not supposed to be here. They're second-class citizens. Actually, we should send them all back to Bani Israel. We should send them all back to Canaan. They don't even deserve to be here. These are the same rhetoric. This is Fir'auni type talk. But what's the end of all Fir'aun? Allah Ta'ala causes them to drown. وَفِرْعَوْنَ وَهَامَانَ وَقَارُونَ فَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ خَسَفْنَا بِهِ الْأَرْضِ وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ أَغْرَقْنَا. Allah Ta'ala says, وَفِرْعَوْنَ وَهَامَانَ وَقَارُونَ. What happened to Fir'aun? He was drowned. What happened to Qarun? He was swallowed up by the earth. What happened to Haman? He also drowned. Every single one of them. And now you hear all of this, bad talk about Muslims. Muslims are terrorists and Muslims are bad and Muslims. This is exactly what Qarun did. Qarun paid a prostitute. And listen to this. Musa alayhi salam told Qarun, oh Qarun, Allah has given you wealth. You should share your wealth and give it to the poor people. He said, no, I'm not going to do that. And he got so fed up with Musa that Qarun paid a prostitute and he said, go in front of the entire city and say that Musa did this with you. That Musa committed an act, shameless act with you. So she came in the middle of the city. This was that was the time where that was the broadcasting platform at that time. That was CNN, NBC News. That was Channel 7 News, right? 5 o'clock, where everybody comes back from work and they're there. She came and she stood up and she started saying, she was attempting to say that Musa did this action with me. Don't think that he's a prophet. He's an imposter. As soon as she started to say that, she says, oh my people, I can't control what I say. Qarun paid me money so that I could say this about Musa. And Musa alayhi salam was standing there, and Qarun was standing there, and all the people of the town were there. And he says, oh Qarun, how could you do this? How could you try to defame me and lie about the Prophet of Allah? I never hurt you, and I never said something that was wrong to you. All I said was fulfill the commandment of Allah and share of what Allah has given you with the poor. He said, no, please, she's lying. And the earth started to suck him in. And all of his wealth came, and all of him and his wealth was sucked into the earth. All of his wealth and everything, and he's continuing to be sucked into the earth. And the ulama mentioned something ajib about Qarun. He said, his body is not even decomposing. He said, the earth doesn't even want to devour him. The earth doesn't even decompose him. Because he did such a heinous crime of putting a blame against the innocent Prophet of Allah, that Allah is not even allowing the earth won't even accept him. He's just going down and down and down. He continued to go down till the day of judgment. He's just floating around everywhere. And the earth is not even accepting him. So brothers and sisters, all of those who try to defame the innocent Muslims and defame women of hijab and persecute the people of Allah, their end result will just be like Fir'aun and Haman and Qarun. If we are the readers of the Quran, Allah has shown us the history of those people, that when they try to defame, saying that Muslims are killers, Muslims are terrorists, these women are crazy, these women are this, these women are that, and they're saying all of the, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed the end result of everybody who defames. Allah showed the end result of everyone who tries to commit zulm. Allah showed the end result of everybody who tries to insult the slaves of Allah who are pure and have nothing. So a believer shouldn't have any other worry other than I should be in the path of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And exactly like Ibrahim alayhi salam said, وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. No matter what happens, and no matter what situation I'm in, I will be. And our sisters, especially now, in these times, our sisters, when they wear the hijab or they wear the niqab, they are the flag bearers of Islam. May Allah Ta'ala bless them. And may Allah Ta'ala protect them. More than men, I say this, more than the Muslim men, the women are the flag bearers of Islam. Because I could just take off my hat and I could just, wear pant and shirt and a little t-shirt and shorts, and I could go out and, glue my beard a little bit or shave it off. And I'm just one of I'm just the everyday guy. But what are our sisters going to do? Our sisters are basically like, they're standing like shields in front of the men. They're standing, right? And they're representing Islam. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect them. I ask Allah to preserve them. They're the flag bearers of Islam. Right now in the World Olympics, those people, these democratic countries, right, that are trying to ban the hijab. You have a Muslim fencer, Ibtihaj Muhammad. She won the bronze for fencing on behalf of the United States. She won the bronze medal. And look at what she says. American, she's not even an immigrant. What is Trump going to say to her? What did she say? She said, the reason why I wear hijab and the reason why I do fencing is because I was raised as a Muslim, and as a Muslim girl growing up, there was no sport that I could do which was most covered. If I did basketball, I have to wear shorts. If I did volleyball, I have to wear shorts. But fencing is the only sport that I'm covered, and even my face is covered. Fencing is the only sport that I'm covered, and I have to wear gloves from head to toe. I'm covered. So that was the reason why I went into fencing. SubhanAllah, she's saying this on international television. No matter how much they put it down, Allah is going to put it up. These are our flag bearers. Look at how this sister, and the modesty. Look at her reason. Why am I in fencing? She doesn't say, oh, I love fencing. Fencing is my passion. And I love fencing since I was young, and my father was a fencer. No, she said the only reason I went into fencing because there was no other sport in which I could be modest as a Muslim. This is teaching the entire world the values of Islam. And this is the meaning. If we hide our Islam, brothers and sisters, you know what? Nothing's going to happen. And you'll live. But you live as a coward. You live scared. You live in fear. Look at this one sister. She could have said, I'm going to the Olympics. I should take off this hijab. But she lived in bravery. She lived in courage. And Allah lifted her name. And she uplifted the name of Islam. She became famous. People want to become famous by taking off the hijab. She became famous with the hijab. People want to become famous by taking off the hijab. She became famous with the hijab. I'm not saying that it's about fame. That's not what it's about. But the point here is, brothers and sisters, there's no honor in throwing in the towel. There's no honor in giving up your Islam. That's not honorable. Honor is holding what you have and standing up for what you believe in. And that is what's going to change the world. You don't need to be strong to do that. You don't need to be a man to do that. You don't need to be a man. You don't need to be physically strong, but you need to have heart. And a lot of these sisters, may Allah bless them, they have heart. May Allah preserve them. And may Allah guide them. And may Allah Ta'ala take us on the footsteps of Ibrahim alayhi salam, where we practice this usul, and we practice this way, this tradition of submission and sacrifice. May Allah Ta'ala give us tawfiq to implement what has been said. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanakallah.
Just one quick announcement. Next Saturday, the following Saturday, inshallah, we'll be having a Khalil Center workshop about addictions and positive, life changes. It'll be after Asr here at Masjid al-Huda. Once again, next Saturday, after Asr, we'll have a Khalil Center workshop about addictions after Asr. And also, starting tomorrow, Asr Salah will be changed to 6:15, and Isha Salah will be changed to 9:30.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.